Right. Hello, people. This is the first official episode of the Swole podcast, hosted by myself, Ryan Winwright, and Gabriel Niger. Say what's up.
Hello, my man. First of all, I'm actually very impressed you've said my name right.
Oh yeah,
It's you and the guy who ran PCA who actually announces your names when you walk on stage. You are the only two people who have got my name right first time, which
to
is
be fair,
incredible.
it is their job to try and pronounce the names the best as
Yeah,
possible, isn't it?
it's a tricky one.
Because there's some
It's a
there's
tricky one.
some pretty like wacky names that go up on stage here and there, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one of me. Like, you get mine wrong, it's game over for you. And fair to say, many
Hmm.
people have tried and failed. So for you to get it right first time, make fair fucks.
Hey,
Exactly, my
just
friend.
unlucky
Exactly.
spawn rates, man. Unlucky spawn rates, but it happens.
That's what being
Anyways,
German does to you, mate.
you're German.
Well, half German, yeah. That's where the
Didn't know
name's
that.
from. It's not a typical British name, is it? So I mean, has to be from
No,
somewhere.
no. To be fair, I get called. People think my name's Ryan Winry because of my Instagram handle.
I did, to be
But
fair. I went to Tim. I was like, "Fuck this
honestly,
wine! This wine! This Ryan Winry kid is competing at the UKDFB." I was like, "Fuck,
yeah,
fuck."
it's what.
Yeah,
To be fair, I didn't even think I'd be going against you because originally we was meant to be in different classes, were we?
yeah. I guess that
It was
leads us
meant to be a
nicely into
shorter
our first
talk.
topic.
What was that? Sorry.
First topic of the pod. I guess that leads us
First
nicely
topic
into
of
the
the pod.
first topic of the pod. Like,
It
what is
will.
the goal of this pod? I'll let you kind of discuss that. Then we'll get into, I guess, how we met and stuff.
Yeah.
Last year
What was that? The goal of the sport.
of the pod, not the sport, mate.
Yes. I was going to say, like, goal of the sport already. We haven't even got around the pod yet. Anyways, yes. As I was going to say, what is Swole's goal? How did it come about? All that nitty gritty stuff. So essentially, I messaged Gabriel one random day. I was like, we're just going back and forth about clients because obviously we're both quite new coaches on the scene. Um, I myself have picked up a few clients as of recent, same as Gabriel, and they're all doing unbelievably well. And then I slid him a message. I was like, when's the pod dropping? Because the thing is, we talk back and forth constantly, and these conversations just kind of flow naturally. So I was like, when's the pod
Yeah.
dropping? And he was like, you know what, bro, I'd be fully down to do one. Obviously, I originally expected nothing from it, so I was quite whoa originally. And then here we are. I set up a full sheet, probably overthought the full process initially, but we're kind of just winging it now. And I think winning it's probably the best way for the pod. Because like the whole
Yeah,
idea of this, oh, there you go.
no, I was just, I remember you sent me the document of your planned episodes, and it was like, fucking hell. This is a
Yeah,
bit scary. It got very daunting very fast, the amount of detail you went into. I was just
it
like, just
did to
wing
be
it, bro.
fair, but I feel
Just have
like
a chat.
yeah, yeah. But in my head, it's also like I kind of need a plan to go off, kind of.
That's fine, bro. Anyway, continue what you're saying.
But yeah, so the podcast itself, essentially, what we're just going to run into is there'll be multiple topics each episode. So we'll be going into things like mistakes people do during prep, how was prep for people, like how did we find it, all that stuff. Um, as well, we'll most likely be going into show reviews. Like I think by the end of this episode, we're probably going to be reviewing the WNBF first timers. Is it a first timers? I'm pretty sure it was that the one that's just
No,
got.
mate, because I don't think it was the first time. Because that Charlie kid, he's competed a fair few times now.
Hmm.
He's done
But
PCA, UKDFBA. So I
the
don't know
team
what it was.
class
It
in
was
that was pretty solid as well.
yeah, for WNBF something. I don't know what it
Yeah,
was. Looks good anyway.
we'll get into that back end of the episode, but for now, we're just going to talk about like why we started bodybuilding, what got us into it. So, if you want to take the lead, Gabriel, tell us how you got into bodybuilding initially, why
Yeah,
you started
so
it.
I guess all goes back to university for me. So I guess when I went to university, I hadn't actually been to an actual gym before. I'm lucky enough at home to have a few dumbbells, a few plates. My dad's kind of got a home gym setup. So over lockdown, I had fuck all else to do apart from pro clubs. And that was
Mm.
just, at unsociable hours. That was more a 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. job. So for the rest of the day, I had plenty of time to do fuck all. So I got into running a little bit, and then my dad was like, you know what, go train some weights with me. So that's how I got into that very briefly. And then I was at university. I was like, took a little break in first year, and I went back to it, and I found the university gym and just started, messing around in there. 6 sets of everything, like a chest day probably consisted of about, looking back, like probably 60 sets of just chest and then some arms at the end. Pretty standard stuff, but I think
Just
to be
basically
honest,
what every beginner goes through then.
but I don't think it is anymore. I think that's actually a big issue, but we can get onto that later. But
Yeah.
in terms of bodybuilding itself, in second year, I found a gym in Liverpool called. So I went to university in Liverpool called Training Station, and I was lucky enough to have a lot of like successful athletes in there who are bodybuilders, some pros, PCA pros, IFBB pros,
Any names in
and
particular?
yeah, Johnny Mack, open IFBB pro, huge guy. In
Class.
my second year of
Yeah.
university, I got to watch him prep, actually win his pro card in
Oh, nice.
Spain. So watching that every day, kind of, I was always like, bodybuilding's cool. But I would never do it. Like I would never get in a fall on stage. Like that's weird. That's gay. Like I was like, no
Yeah.
way. And I was playing football at the time. I was like, I was getting quite big, and I was getting, to the point where I was like football or gym, and I was more leaning towards gym, to be honest. I was still doing football about 5 days a week and training for the same amount of days. So it would be like train, go straight to football, have a match, have training, whatever it was, because I played for a few different teams.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where I was just, actually, I prefer the training side, got more into that. And I had like a long conversation with Johnny one day about like competing. And, he was like to me, basically, you have to compete, because if you don't compete, you never know if you like it or not. Like he was like, just
Yeah,
compete once, see if you like
something
it.
you'll most likely regret later on in your life, I
Yeah.
imagine.
So
But yeah.
that's
How's
what kind of
that type of
stemmed
story,
the. No, I got more, and that kind of stemmed the idea for bodybuilding in my head. Obviously, I was still training, I was still putting on side. I wasn't calling myself or having that purpose of stepping on stage. So when I kind of transitioned to that, it was a case of looking at coaches, looked at Tim, looked at a few other people. But ultimately, Tim was the guy who I wanted to be coached by. He's someone who just seemed to command a lot of respect from myself. And I think I wanted that. I didn't want a coach who was
you
going to be
look
my
at Tim's
best mate.
Instagram and it's just crazy physique after crazy physique after crazy physique.
Yeah, mate, literally, especially at the
Speak for
time for
itself.
naturals. Like at the time for naturals, he was kind of leading the way of like how he's putting athletes on stage. And I was like,
Yeah, because at that time
quite,
I'd imagine that's the time he had Jack Hattersley and Jack Kinsley, and then there was
yeah, bro,
there was the other lad as well that went to the Natural Olympia as well. Though, mate, them three looked all like unbelievable.
yeah, mate, it was crazy. I think it was Davide. I'm not sure.
That's the
David,
one.
I can't remember.
It's like
But anyway,
weird or something.
yeah. And then acquired of him, and it was like a case of, right, yeah, I'll sign up for you. I'm just going to so I went traveling to Bali for a bit, for like a month. Did some really cool stuff out there. Met some cool people.
Met
And I'm
Joshua
still friends
Connolly.
with to this day, actually. Yeah, we met up in Bali. Went to many a water park together, trained together. That was sick.
Nice.
Very humbling, but very cool. And then started with Tim literally as soon as I got back from that. Actually, no, I went to New York as well. And as soon as I got back from New York, it was like on the plane back, I was messaging Tim like, let's get going. Checked in as soon as I got off the plane. It was straight to work into like an off season and then a pre-prep and then prep. So yeah. What about yourself, mate? How did you get into
Real
this
quick,
weird, wonderful
so how
sport?
long have you been training, like in general?
So, I mean, depends if you count like lockdown. It's if we think about actual training, which probably was productive to muscle growth, I think since I was about 19. So quite late to it, to be fair. I mean, I wish I started earlier, but at the time it was just full focus on football.
Yeah.
So, can't go back
Yeah,
in time.
that's crazy for like 4 or 5 years of progress. Like
Yeah,
muscle you build's mental. But for myself,
cheers, mate.
my stories don't go into anywhere near as much depth for yourself. But pretty much just secondary school PE class. I had a couple mates say to me, "Mate, you're quite big for never training." Um, I was always the strongest, like in this PE class as well. So before I even started training, I was pressing like 35 kilo dumbbells on incline, deadlifting 185, 190. Albeit the form was probably not that good, but there was definitely something there. And I started a gym in Hull called Fit 24, which now isn't nowhere near the gym it used to be. Back then, it was definitely something a lot of people go. There was a guy that won a PCA overall that trained there as well called Adam. I'd try. I'll find him after this episode and send you him if I remember. And I remember like looking at him constantly as he was training. I was like, man, that's like the coolest thing ever. I want to achieve that. And at the time, I was playing rugby quite a fair bit. I was playing training and playing games for about 4, 5, 6 hours a week during college. It's extremely taxing on my body, and at this time as well, I was also powerlifting on the side. Well, powerlifting on the side, essentially just ego lifting, whatever I could lift. I was doing like half rep squats and thinking I was the shit. Um, but yeah, we was doing a session with quite a good team, and essentially I just snapped both my knees. So from that, I was again in like you. I was in a position with was it rugby or would it be bodybuilding? Which one do I go down? Ultimately, decided to choose bodybuilding, and at this time I was training one of my good mates who's also now my client, which is quite funny because he's the same guy that taught me how to do a tricep pushdown. Um, which is absolutely mental to think about. Me and him moved over to Ultraflex in Hull, and from there I was there for about 2 months, 2 or 3 months, and my training just started dipping lows. I was on like an ultimate bulk at 17 years old, and I got up to 97.6 kilos. I remember, and I was it's funny because this is where I met Kenny, and he was on shift at the gym at the time, and I was absolutely shitting bricks to talk to him. But the full session where I decided I was going to talk to him, I was like, I need to talk to him. I need to talk to him. I went to pose and all this. So I went into the room. Went into the room with him, the posing room. I was asking him questions and all this, and then he just offered to coach me for free from there. And well, the rest is essentially just history. We just did a massive push up, prepped down for a UK UP show where I won the dreaded UK UP Pro card, the one half the population
Yeah,
has.
bro.
And
You're
and
better
then
off not having that, to be honest.
yeah, well, it's something. It's something.
It's
Let's
more
say
than
I'm an
me.
well, I don't know. You've also won a PCA show, so take it as you will.
Yeah, but
I say I'm an entry level
yeah,
pro. I say I'm an
level
entry level
pro.
pro. Yeah, but
Nice.
it's nice. It's nicer than saying you just bodybuild, isn't it? Like I've got something there to
Yeah,
say there is a pro card of some sort, albeit not the most
I'd I'd
impressive one.
I'd say your UKDFBA win was more impressive than that, mate.
Oh yeah, miles more impressive. Mate, I was
Like,
against I think it was like two other lads at UKUP, and
yeah,
one of them I was watching him eat like 5 square bars backstage, like 2 minutes before going on stage, as if it's gonna do
brilliant,
anything really, and like he didn't even have a tan, and then
brilliant.
but yeah,
Tough competition, then.
yeah, tough competition. I mean, to be fair, I was told from the head judge, or the guy that owns UKUP, I was very shy on missing out on the overall. If I'd have just competed in men's classic rather than team bodybuilding, he said I'd have most likely got the overall. But I don't know. I looked at the guy that won the overall.
What?
He's a men's physique lad. He's coached by Danny Howarth, and he looks absolutely silly. Like I remember looking at him backstage, and I was like, it's just a different level. I think he
What?
went on to win.
What do you? No, I'm confused. They said if you did a different, so you won your class, went to the overall, right?
Yeah.
They're saying if you did the men's class, you would have won the overall. But the guy who was in the men's classic class didn't even win the overall, so it's not like he's not even there. I don't get what
Yeah.
they're even
This is
saying.
this
That
is the
makes
thing
no sense to
because they
me.
put they put everybody, like everyone from every single class, in the guys into one overall. So there was every class winner on stage
Yeah, I get
with
that.
medals.
That's how the overall works, but them telling you if you just weren't a teen, you would have won the overall. What
Oh no, if I was in a
is that
different class, I'd have
what
won
they
the
said?
overall. That is honestly, that is what they said.
Well, that makes no fucking sense then, does it? Like, let's be fucking real.
Well, UK UP's UK UP in it.
What a genius, eh? Just
Yeah, I
compete
mean,
in a
I
different
was
class, go to the
I
same
was in the same
overall,
one,
and
to be
you'd have
fair.
won. That's
Exactly.
fucking insane.
Well,
Genius.
that's what it is. I could
Oh,
have had
God.
a big, nice, beautiful gold UK UP medal, but
Yeah.
and then obviously we went on to my last show of the season, which was UK DFBA. I did
Yes.
was it novice junior classic, the class we did? Was one it?
No, it was meant to be classic. It was meant to be novice classic, classic short, and novice classic tall. It
Yeah,
was meant to be, but yeah,
meant to be
5 minutes
until it
before they
wasn't.
just were like, yeah, 5 minutes before they were like, oh, we're just mixing them both together, guys. I was like, brilliant. These guys just got
Class
40 pounds
amazing.
on me. That's class. Love that.
I mean, to be fair
Just
though,
the 40 pounds.
you held your own against like who was in the class because you
Yeah,
did
on
you
shape.
come you came second, didn't you? No, third.
No, third. Tim's
Who
other
was
client
second?
came second.
Adam, is it Adam?
I
Adam
can't
Evans.
Adam, yeah, Tim's other client, he was peeled.
Yeah, no,
Just very
he
big,
could kick
very
ass as
imposing on
well.
stage.
Who else was we on
Yeah.
stage with? There was that bald lad who Reese Fit coached. I think Tim coaches him now.
Yes.
Was he the one
What's
that
his
got
name?
fourth? What is his name?
Think so. I can't
Let
remember
me
his
find
name.
him real
I was
quick.
just
I'll
speaking
find him
to
on
you.
Instagram really quick.
I was speaking to him the other day, actually. Don't know why I was speaking. I was chatting to him. He's
I
good.
think
He's made a lot of progress since joining Tim.
yeah, he's really really good. I think he pops up straight away when I check Aaron. That's the one.
Aaron, that's it. Yeah. No, I knew it
Aaron's
beginning of
class.
A, but yeah, he's really good. He's made a lot of
Who else?
progress this off season. To be fair,
Yeah, he has. He's pretty strong now as well, isn't he?
I can't.
Like his training's in a
I
really good
can't
spot.
remember. Yeah,
There's
he looks good. I can't remember who.
who else was there?
I can't remember. All I remember is just losing my head at that show. Completely.
Yeah, well, gave you a little
Um,
pep talk backstage. Told you to look at your chest.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think you definitely
Um,
looked a lot better than you thought you did.
oh man, I felt like I looked terrible, but it was more because like my prep was. I think by the end of my prep, I mean, speaking to people looking back, I was just fucked.
Mm.
Like I wasn't even me. Like I don't
Yeah,
think I resembled me in from a personality standpoint at all. Like I remember as soon as because I was in the first call out, and as soon as they did that thing where they messed up the poses, do you remember what they did? Were you in that call out where they said side tricep, but they didn't, or something like that, and they just were you there?
I
You might not have
can't
been.
remember
Basically,
too well.
they said a pose that we weren't supposed to do, and they apologized for it afterwards. But just didn't know what to do, and I froze. And after that moment, mate, my head was gone. I couldn't. I started
Mm.
shaking. I started getting nervous. I got in my own
Yeah,
head so badly, like, and like it was a weird one. Just
yeah, because you weren't too
mentally
happy
kind of
with
tapped out.
your routine either way.
Oh
From what
mate,
I
I hated
remember
the
as
day,
well.
to be honest. I genuinely thought after that day, I was like, I don't know if I want to do the rest of my shows. I was just
Mm.
like, it was a tough day.
Yeah,
Looking back, I was actually really happy with the look, and
I
it was good.
thing is, you're going to be when
But at
you've
the
like
time,
on 20 pounds as well, are you? 'Cause I look back at my
yeah,
prep shots and I'm like, God, I'm so much more like shredded, leaner than what I actually thought I
yeah,
was.
mate, 100%. It's not even that. It's just, I got third, obviously, still, which is still, considering the only people who beat me had literally probably about 30 to 40 pounds on me.
Yeah.
Like
What was you on stage? It was 63, were you?
yeah, I was about 140 pounds on stage. So I've got
Mm.
30 pounds to my cap.
Yeah, I was.
Um,
I'm pretty sure I was 86, 87 at UKDFPA.
yeah, yeah. So
It's
what's
quite a
what's
fair bit
that?
on you. It's like 40 pounds.
Is that 25 kilos?
Yeah,
Fuck,
about
like
that.
literally, but this is what I mean. Like,
It's like
and so
50
like,
pounds. That.
yeah, bro, it's fucked. And so I guess so. Looking back, to still got third is still like an impressive feat and like something I'm happy with. But at the time, I guess the pressure I'd put on myself, I guess it doesn't help when people are telling you how good you are and
No,
stuff to
no, no, not at
then
all.
kind of be like, fuck, like I've let these people down. Like people came to watch me, even though it's not my family, it
Mm.
was like my friends, Chloe. Like I just
Yeah.
felt like, fucking hell, what have I done? I've like
Still either way. If you
given
walk like
everything.
getting on stage in general is just a win. But then obviously walking
Yeah,
away with something to your name, whether that's first place trophy, second place trophy, first place trophy, overall whatnot. Like the
mate,
accomplishment you get from
100%.
that is just like different level, and I'm sure like, you understand. Winning a show is honestly the best feeling, like ever. Nothing
Yeah,
comes close. So I can't
yeah, mate.
imagine how winning an overall must feel. And then
Literally, mate.
obviously,
Have to find out soon.
well, yeah, hopefully next year, fingers crossed.
Yeah, for
And then
you.
obviously we had, well, it'll be for both of us. When your next season comes around, you're gonna win an overall. We'll make sure you do.
Awesome. We'll
Um,
see, mate. I'll
with
go to a UKUP show.
Yeah, you'll win that one, 100 million%.
Yeah,
And
sound.
then obviously I did day two UKFA. Those teams.
Yeah,
I've got I got second to a lad called William Bancroft, who mate he is absolutely insane. Like now he
yeah,
looks crazy.
yeah.
He looks absolutely
Yeah,
crazy
he's
as
a
well.
joke. He's an
Mate,
absolute
there's
joke.
some
He's insane.
there's some teams now that you just look at and it's like how do you even like compete with that? Three that come to my head instantly is obviously William Bancroft. There's Will Holmes, or is it William Holmes? He's
I
crazy,
don't know, mate.
really strong.
He's
And
a
then
joke. He's a joke.
there's that. Is he called Callum? He's coached by Adam Powell.
Yeah, I know
Mate,
the one who's made me question ever competing in bodybuilding again many a time.
yeah.
But mate, you don't see it yourself, but you are one of those people. You're one of those freaks. I think everyone
Cheers,
kind of
man.
looks at you and thinks, "Fucking hell!" Like
I hope so.
that is
Like
the
I do
standards of
strive to
UK.
be towards that.
You are the standards of UK young bodybuilders. Like you are incredibly good. Your potential is through the roof.
Mm.
You are
See, like,
just cut above the rest of us in a sense, and I think that's not unfair for me to say. I think just you'll probably come back with, "Oh, mate, but you're crazy." Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm structurally good, but I'm older than you. Like, what you have at your age is just ridiculous, and kind of you are the person who can make something of this sport.
mm,
If we are being serious and objective, like I might be good, I might do some cool things in the sport come in the future, but not to the degree you have the capabilities of doing so.
yeah, I hope so. And to be fair, it's something I am definitely really, really working towards. And I think as time's gone on, I'm probably starting to see what I could make out of it. Like obviously, I had words from Tim saying like I might possibly be able to make it a career, and hearing him say that's like definitely it feels more secure. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
then
no, but 100%.
what other shows did you do? Because I finished my season at that point. I was going to do NBW, but I was like, this is
I
my
don't know why
season
he
done.
didn't, to be honest, bro. Don't know why he didn't do that.
Well, I was close. I think it was just initial. It would have been initial like stress from getting second in teens.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I remember when I saw your post saying you were calling prep, and I was like, really? Like, I thought you were going to kind of go down the
Yeah,
same route I went and go to all the finals.
I had a couple people messaging me about it. Like, it was definitely just stress. I was quite beaten up after getting second at UKDFBA to be fully honest. So I just didn't
Yeah,
really have the money. I didn't really have the money to compete in any other shows. But there'll be a
yeah.
fair few more next year.
No, good shit, man. In terms of shows I did PCA Naturals 5 or 4, I can't remember. The qualifier for the final the next day, basically. So did the qualifier on the Saturday, qualified, then did the finals on the Sunday, and then after that, a few weeks later, did MBW, and that was my
Yeah,
season wrapped up nicely. But yeah, pretty a good amount of shows. I think 4 was a good amount of shows to do. I was happy with that,
yeah,
and I wasn't going to do MBW in the end, but Tim was like, "Just go on, go do it."
may as
And
well.
yeah, ended up doing it as well.
What what would your ideal amount of shows this season be?
For a first timer, I'd say 3 to 5 is ideal, or 2 to 5, depending on what your financial situation is. I
Mm,
think just doing one show, if I'm completely honest, is a bit,
bit of a waste of time.
I wouldn't say pointless as a first timer, but you're so nervous for that first show, but you don't get to give a full account of yourself.
Yeah,
I think it's far more beneficial, like doing a show, even maybe a warm up show, and then learning from the mistakes from that, learning from how stressful peak week is, despite it not being portrayed to be this stressful thing. Peak week is stressful, and it's
it
new
is.
to you.
Yeah.
It's a new situation. It's if you've taken
So
time
it's
off
also
work, you don't have
it's
that
a fair bit
structure
more
anymore.
surprising as well because you're eating quite a bit more food than you have been the full prep. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I was pretty relaxed during peak week. I remember I was just playing heaps of skate 4. That's
mega.
all I
I
was doing for
was
peak weeks.
I was quite stressed during peak. Not stressed, but like I don't know. I'm my own worst enemy. I get in my own head a lot. Um,
Mm,
I think when I'm flat, I look very bad, like really not good. I actually think that looking back, potentially, I could have been a bit not softer, but like not chased certain body parts as much. I mean, Tim kept telling me this in my own head, and isn't me criticizing his way of coaching. This is me of my own mindset of like, because it stresses you out ultimately. My glutes aren't in. I don't have lines throughout my glutes. But
yeah,
if I was to get that, and Tim luckily didn't force me down that route, I would have faded even more. And I think genuinely, fullness is my strength, and I think is very hard when I'm full to beat me on shape. If I'm honest, and that's not me saying I'm the
yeah.
best bodybuilder in the world, but shape wise, I've been told by multiple judges like you have the best shape in every class you do,
I'd
and
imagine that's also
that's
because like your shape is so unique to you as well.
yeah, it's very
There's not
classic. I
many like
think
there's quite a few people where you look at and you're like, yeah, I could probably compare this physique to maybe this guy and this guy and this guy, but then you look at you and it's like that is uncomparable to anybody else.
is very for classic is very good. It's just a size thing with me. Like, I mean, I'm told by many judges, like, especially of how much room I have to the weight cap. I mean, I remember being at MBW and everyone's getting weighed and everyone's jumping on the scales in their boxes and shit, and I just hop on with a built for athletes bag and they're like, and I'm like, no, and I'm like, no, like, I'll be absolutely sound, and I'm still under the weight cap, like doing that, and then the next day they're telling me how much you have to the cap, and I'm like, yeah, I have about 30 pounds, and they're like, fuck me, like, just keep growing, grow your back,
Yeah,
grow your posterior chain, and just kind of, if you keep the shape, it's gonna be very cool to see what you do. So that's kind of
yeah,
a plan in general, just keep growing and keep chipping away without, sacrificing the shape. But I think shape's one of those things you have a habit or you don't, unfortunately. I'm very fortunate to have it. So now it's just a time game,
yeah. No, it's just
in
complete.
that
It's
sense.
completely genetics in like that department. I remember watching the UKDFBA. There's a UKDFBA podcast, like the release one. I'm pretty sure after every show they do, or well, they did last year at least. And I think it
For
was
us, yeah.
Christian James. I think it was Christian James that said, with me being so close, well, touching the end of my weight cap, because my weight cap is 87 kilos. Um, I'm most likely to have to move up into like heavyweights and stuff for next year, which is it's quite daunting, but I have trust into him. I reckon we'll do pretty well, hopefully. So
Yeah, just
fingers
trust in
crossed.
Tim, bro.
Fingers
He'll
crossed.
sort you out. I mean,
Yeah.
he's never going
Anyways?
to put anyone on stage looking
Hmm?
bad. So go
Oh
ahead,
yeah,
bro.
never. Got a question. What's your take on like warm up shows leading up to main shows?
Uh, got the money to do it. Do it. If you're in condition, do it. If you're not in condition, obviously don't do it because you're just taking yourself out of a state of fat loss, adding stress because show day is stressful.
Yeah.
It's expensive. If you do want to do it, do a warm up show. Pick a show as close to you as possible. Don't do it because it's a show you want to do. Just do any show. It's all going to be the same experience of peaking and like going through the rounds and stuff. Yes, PCA work you less time. Other feds work you for more time. Yes, sure. But actually being on stage, like I remember UKDFA being my first show and being hit by those lights and being like, fucking hell, I can't see anyone. I was just
Yeah.
posing into like a void and it felt very like, Jesus, that also stressed me out. So I think there is merit to them. I think, it's very case dependent because I think it's the trend to do warm up shows now. And you're seeing people step on stage just so out of shape. Not anyone in our circle really, but you see a lot of people do it and they say it's a warm up show. It's like you could spend your time more productively actually staying in a state of fat loss because, depending how much you peak for it, I mean, you could be taking yourself out of a state of fat loss for a long period of time. And, if you've got shows to actually get ready for, you're just sacrificing your main shows for the sake of a warm-up show.
Yeah, I think that's on the money. Like myself, I did UP was initially a warm up show. Looking back at my shots for that, I don't think I should have done it, but mentally I definitely needed to do it because I was so terrified for getting onto the like UK the FBA stage. But I remember after that first
Yeah.
UK UP show, mate, I was like buzzing for it as well. Like time between shows as well. Albeit it's only a couple of weeks, mate. It feels like years. It's honestly, I think it's the worst time of prep.
Yeah, bro. I think my anxiety ramped up a lot between UKDFB and PCA.
Yeah.
Because I wrote in my notes section at like the start of the year, like I want to win PCA Naturals. That was kind of in my notes section, and I was like, well, I've just placed third at a show that wasn't meant to be my main show. So how is this going to bode for like my next show? And it just kind of getting to me a bit because I'd been told I was good, obviously. And I kind of think that maybe I'm not so good. But luckily PCA went well. Did good there. So that kind of was like my redemption arc. And then MBW after that was just a throwaway show where I was like, just have some fun.
Yeah. May as well. See how you place. What did you get in that? You got second, didn't you?
Third, mate.
Third. Oh, I keep thinking
yeah.
you're better.
Bro, I mean, yeah. It
what it is.
I won't bother get into it, is what it is.
It was William that won that one as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Just keeps coming back to haunt us, mate.
just won absolutely everything.
A very deserving winner.
Shockingly peeled for 17.
Yeah, mate, it was very good. Very, very good.
Unbelievable.
He was
unbelievable. So
I didn't think he was that big until I saw him pumping up, and I was like, "What?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Who's are you?"
I get that. It was the same at UKDFBA for me. It's just still.
Yeah.
Was prep like what you expected it to be going into it?
For the first stage, yeah, it was. It was like, okay, this is fat loss is trickling along. Towards the back end, we really had to dig. Tim was kind of vocal about in some of my posts about how you just have to either dig or like not every prep's going to be these refeeds, no cardio, no steps, like nice, not easy because being lean is hard, but the output we had to run and the low food and like the stress and what my day to day was looking like was pretty horrible. Like I'll be real,
Yeah.
a lot of emotional times, I guess, in that in that period of time where I was just like, don't even want to bodybuild. Why am I
Yeah.
doing this? Like, what? Because my
You,
days were
you
like,
just want like a Domino's pizza or something. That's all I could think about. Prep. And
it wasn't
looking back,
even
I
the food
definitely
for me, bro.
lost
It
somebody.
was
I was
genuinely, I
so
was
bad
just
with
in
it.
pain. My
Yeah,
legs were
no, I
in
get that.
pain. Like, it was so bad. I mean, my days were like, so I worked retail at the time. Be like,
Mm,
wake up at 6 a.m., daily check-ins, and then I'd go to the gym, train fasted, um, come back, have my first meal, half an hour of cardio, straight to my 9 hour shift. Come back, obviously have a meal at work during my lunch break, but it's not like you have one break across for 9 hours. So it's one meal, can't do anything else. And then you're on your feet all day, interacting with people which you don't want to do. And then I was come back, have a meal, do another half an hour of cardio on the bike, um, posing, last meal, bed, repeat. It was just, and steps in between there. And then
yeah.
trying to make time to see a partner as well who you don't live with, and getting stressed because you're constantly saying, "Oh, I can't see you because I've got this to do." It was very
Mm.
taxing, very like you know
It's quite selfish to
difficult
an
to.
extent, really, isn't it?
Oh mate, so
Like to
selfish, and
others,
I
to
yeah,
others. Like,
props
your
off
day
hats off to Chloe,
sounded. Yeah, yeah. Shout out Chloe. Um,
mate. Shout out Chloe.
Mate, your day sounds exactly like what mine was. Pretty much. I mean, I worked
Yeah,
at
it's
culture
grim.
weeks at the time. Lot easier than definitely a lot easier than working in retail. But I was like back end of them shifts where I'm having to put weights away and all that. That was such a killer for me. I remember, mate, I was getting so pissed off constantly back end of the shift
Yeah,
because it was just another thing I had to do on top of it, and I'd get home and I'd just be straight to bed because I'd have finished my meals about fucking 4, 5, 6 hours before going to sleep, and I'm mate, shocking times. It's not nowhere near what I expected it to be like, but
no, I think
other
that's
than
the
that, like
issue with first
super glad I
timers.
did it. Yeah,
Oh
it's
mate,
something
hundred
you just
percent. I
need to
think
do.
well, first timers they see all these experienced athletes, the pros, who to some extent have earned the right to do these easier preps. And when I say easier, I mean in terms of they've got enough muscle to the fact that them just existing is enough to enter a state of fat
Sure.
loss. And their body's been
Yeah.
there before. It's been through the motions. If you're a first timer, you've never got this lean before. Your body does not want to be that fucking lean. It doesn't even know what that feels like. So to
Yeah.
actually get there, you're gonna have to. If you actually want to get in true stage condition, like I think we both did. I think we were both pretty fucking peeled.
Mm.
Um, you know, you're gonna have to put the work in. It's not gonna be these fucking unless you're a genetic 1%. It's not gonna be these high days. Oh, we're putting your steps down to 5K, mate. Looking a bit in flames. No, it ain't gonna be that. You're
Yeah.
gonna be digging yourself into the floor. You're gonna be thinking, why am I doing this? And this is not me
Mm.
to scare people, but it's just set the reality
You're gonna
that
be
you.
you get to a point where you're just crying before every single session as well. Like that was a point I was at. I remember like I'd had a 30-minute walk to gym, and that 30-minute walk was tended to be all right, and then I'd be about 5 minutes away from gym, and I'd just start bawling out like, into my hands, feeling so sorry for myself because it's like I've got to do this shit again. I've got to do
Yeah,
cardio, and I've got to do this, and I'm spending about 4 hours in the gym doing everything I don't want to do,
yeah, mate.
and all I can think about is a meal
But
after it. Like,
it's what people don't think of. I think it's all going to be off glorified. It's fun. Like, it's prep. Let's go. Like, yeah, like it's so rewarding. And if you want to do it, please do it. I mean, don't know if anyone will even listen to this, but do a prep if you want to do it. But don't feel that just because you go to the gym, you have to do a prep. You can enjoy the gym and just prep. The stage isn't going anywhere. It's
it's not. It's not.
looking back, I don't think I was in a place where maybe with certain aspects of my life I should have done a prep. I think a big one for me, which I think is a bit of a nuanced topic and it's not really talked about enough, is your training. I think if you're not in a place maturity wise of training and you know kind of what you need to be able to do. For example, for me, because I was getting so light, I'm a very light individual. The numbers were just going down. And obviously at the time there was this whole mantra of if you lose numbers in the gym, you lose muscle. Now is that true? Maybe, but not really.
Probably
Like
not as much
you're
as
just gonna lose a
it's said to be.
no. And I remember having meltdowns if I lost a rep. And what would I do to try and make up for those reps? I just let my form get worse. So
Yeah,
so I'm sacrificing actually tension on the muscle just to lift a number that's completely arbitrary. My muscles don't have eyes; they can't see that I'm putting X amount of plates on a leg press.
yeah,
All they know is stimulus. You need to
exactly.
be at a point in your relationship with training where you know that you've got the emotional maturity to say, right, I'm not lifting as much as I did in peak off season, but are my quads getting stimulated enough to not go anywhere? Yes. And the amount of stress that will save you and the amount of is just so much that it can make or break your prep. I know for me, it broke my prep a lot of the time, and it's
Yeah.
probably why my posterior faded to shit because I just got worse in my muscle connection. I got less tension on the muscle. You know,
I think I'm definitely in the
y-
same boat as well. Like, I have a couple of pictures up when I was a couple of weeks out from UKDP. I think I was about 11, 12 weeks out. Say a couple, not a couple, like a good
yeah,
2 months out.
bit more, mate.
Where I'm posing in a doorway with some quite natural lighting, and I look at that and I'm like, that, like, if I could have held that SARS throughout the full length of prep, I honestly, I think I'd have done a lot better. I've definitely done a lot more shows if that was the case as well. But like yourself, I let my training get super sloppy. Like, I'll
Yeah,
send you a set. I'll send you a set of something after this recording of just like how I was training. I remember, like, it was specifically incline Smith machine, which got to me the most. If that failed, I feel like I failed. And
oh, bro.
I remember, like, starter
Y-
prep, I was on just shy of 3 plates for about 7, 8 reps, like a really nice good set. And then back end of it, I
Yeah,
was on about 80 kilos for maybe 4 reps. But the form was
you
just,
know,
it was awful, and I got absolutely nothing
yeah,
from it. No stimulus, no pump, like,
no.
just in the bin.
You you tie your self worth to your training, and you got to
Yeah,
remember, like, if you are a young first timer, a lot of this muscle is extremely new muscle, maybe muscle you've built within the last year. That's not muscle that's been around on your frame for like a long period of time. It's gonna be easier for it to fade away. So if you do get a bit smaller, just accept I haven't really earned the right to keep this muscle. I put it on, but I haven't spent enough time with it to actually stay around. The
yeah,
people who you see, just to summarize this topic, having these preps that you look at them and think 3,000 calories on prep for a first timer. They're the genetic elite not because of their shape, I'd argue, or what they look like. They're the genetic elite because they've got so much muscle that it just needs so much calories. But them just simply pulling down from their energy balance a little bit is enough to create such a difference. Versus if you're
yeah,
someone like me who's extremely light, steps are doing nothing. When you're 140 pounds, it's just like you moving air. Like
yeah,
it's not taxing on your body to the point where it's burning calories. Cardio isn't even that taxing because I don't weigh anything.
mm,
So it's the people who are heavily muscled who are heavy. They're the people who can typically have these kind of more, I guess, through our eyes, easy preps. But for most
yeah,
people, that's not going to be the case.
yeah. Like, I was in a group chat with my mates Alfie Biggs and Ryan Gray, just keeping ourselves, like, on track of prep, because we was all three of us was prepping at the time. And I remember them two being light, quite a fair bit lighter than me, like yourself, like 30, 40, 50 pounds lighter. Or just the full prep I was getting, mate. Your prep sounds so easy compared to mine. I was just like, but we're still doing the same thing, and we're getting us to the place we need to be.
No,
Um,
mate, 100%. I
you know,
was saying, when I say that, I'm not saying the people that are heavier have easier preps. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying to the outside view, when you see these preps where they're on higher food or lower expenditure, they are often the heavier individuals like you, bro. You are genetically very gifted. I don't know many teens as heavily muscled as you. Like they don't really exist in normal circumstances. That's just the truth. So will your prep felt easier? No, because you're still getting stage condition. But to the outside view, it looks easier because I mean, how low does your food go?
I think my lowest was 300 on a trading day.
Yeah, so
2,300 calories
mine
on a
went
trading
down.
day.
I think mine went down to about 1,700.
Mate,
So
I'd perish.
yeah,
I'd just
so
disintegrate.
it's not that you feel like it's any easier for you, but looking from the outside, if I was to look at your prep, I'd go, well, 2,300 calories would be quite a lot for me, but I'm not you. And that's what
There
I'm
you go.
trying to say. It looks easier. It doesn't mean it is easier. And it's most likely not going to be your situation when you get there.
You got to think as
Um,
well. You got to think as well. 3,000 calories to a guy that's 6'2" is it's still 3,000 calories to a guy that's 5'2", but it's completely different.
Different.
Like you,
So different. Yeah.
so different because a guy that's 5'2" could quite easily, I'd imagine, put on weight with 3,200
Yeah.
calories. Whereas if I'm on that amount of calories, I'm losing weight. Like for example, I'm cutting at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my calories are at 3,600, and I'm dropping weight quite rapidly.
Yeah. So that
Whereas
shows for it. Whereas my,
I'd imagine if you was on 3,600, you'd be packing on packing on the size.
well, my peak off season diet right now is like 3,500 or 600 rest day, 3,800 or 900 training day,
There
something
you go.
like that. So that just shows it's not that far off your dieting
There you go.
calories.
And as well, I'm
And that's
like,
me like,
I can feel it as well. Like I won't say I'm hungry,
yeah,
but I'm not full. That's
no, I
that's
get
just
what you mean.
how it is. But yeah, we'll
Yeah.
move on
One's,
to
I was,
what would you say? What was that? Sorry.
I was going to say, should we just go through I guess we've been through the shows, but I was more going to say kind of what your goals are going forwards, obviously, what you've achieved so far and what you want to kind of get out of it next.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So
Beautiful. So in sync.
my goal, I know we're so in sync. God, it's my
So
goal
what
at the
did you
minute.
achieve last year, summarize?
Last year we won UK UP teens, UK FBA, novice, junior, classic, mixed class essentially because we got merged,
Yeah.
and I got second in teens. Should have done MBW, should have done PCA. Decided not to because I was a
Yeah.
pussy. That parcel. Uh, Essentially from that, admittedly, I had quite not the most productive 6 months. After that, I kind of
Mm.
lost my love for the sport. But moving to Tim, as of recently, it's definitely brought it back out for me. And we decided we're probably going to do a fair few more shows next year, like specifically WNBF, UKDFBA, and natural
Yeah.
NPC, in hopes we
Nice,
may
bro.
get a natural IFBB pro card. We can only wish. We'll see. We'll see when the time comes.
Yeah, bro. Well, get to work. Like, I mean, you have the potential to do it. It's not really, in my opinion, it's not really a case of if, it's just when. You've got the structures to do it, got the size to do it in the future. If you don't do it next year, fine. Just go back to the drawing board, get back to work.
There we
Bodybuilding at
go.
the end of the day, just keep building your body.
And mark my word, I'm
I think
staying natural until it happens.
I think they're completely realistic goals, mate. I think, I don't think that's outlandish to say. I don't think Tim would tell you anything that's outlandish to say. He's a very
I got
realistic guy. He won't,
full
he won't bullshit
100%
you.
trusting him for it.
Season
What's your
true.
goals for it?
So yes, last year, first season, did 4 shows, didn't finish outside the top 3, so I came third UK FBA Classic. Then I did PCA the qualifier, came second, and then the next day did the championships and won. Beat the guy who beat me the day before because we actually peaked for it, and then I came third MBW. So I guess, if I'm honest, more of the same. I want to be finishing in the top 3 consistently. I don't really want to deviate outside of that unless it's a really good class. Long term,
That's
I
ideal.
definitely want to get a WMBF Pro card. I think it's possible, potentially. If I just keep working, which I will. It doesn't have to be
100%
immediately.
possible.
Doesn't have to be in.
Will you be competing
Doesn't have
in
to be
juniors
in.
again?
Oh, mate, I'm 23 now.
Juniors finish
I
on the
do classic. I
24th,
mean, I
isn't it?
didn't do any. I don't know, but I didn't do any junior classes last year. I could have done, but I didn't. I just did all classic because that's what I'm more suited to.
Yeah.
Um, but the goal is just, take it as far as I can and enjoy it ultimately. Because, you mentioned something there which I think is not spoken about enough. And that's after your first prep, you just hate bodybuilding. And I think
Yeah.
everyone wants to jump on this bandwagon of like, oh, I love bodybuilding. It's the best thing ever happened to me. If you feel that after your prep, you just don't want to ever do it again, don't feel disheartened by it because that is so normal. And no one talks about it, but so many people feel like that, especially after their first
As
season.
well, like
Because
at
if
a point, I feel like for 90% of competitors, that feeling will just inevitably just fade out, and then
oh yeah,
you
mate,
need to find something for yourself which like initially brought the spark, like to you, like initially lit the flame. And
what
for me,
usually
that was getting with a coach, and I found at X point I needed a new coach for that to come back out because I knew it's something I do want to do going forward.
I think for most people, it's when the training comes back and like you can take those sets fully to failure and jump off a leg press and be like, fuck you know, that was a good set. I think until that comes back, you're just in this limbo period where you still feel like shit. Your training's getting better, but it's nowhere near as good as it once was. You
Yeah,
feel like kind of very low mood wise. You feel like hormonally cooked. Um, it's like you just feel in the bin a bit. I remember up until Christmas, I was completely in the bin, and I didn't tell Tim this, but I was like, right, like I've done so well this off season so far. Like I've handled post show immaculately, and that's not me tooting my own horn. It's just I didn't really place the foot wrong. But it got to the
mm.
point in Christmas, and I was like, I've put on a decent amount of weight here, but I still feel absolutely shit. So the tactic was into Christmas Day, you know, just fuck it, just literally eat as much as you can, like which is terrible. But my thinking was, I just want to get my hormones. I don't care about like how I look anymore. Like, obviously, I did. It was such a double-edged sword. It was like I do, but I just want to feel like me again because I didn't feel like me. I put on
Yeah,
about 5 pounds for came off a little bit, but a lot of that stuck around. And after that, it just slowly got better. But it took me going to myself like, what matters more to me? Some condition that's eventually going to fade in a few months anyway, or some decent Instagram posts with a story where my midsection is still 26 inches. Like,
yeah.
and at that point, it was just like, just fucking do it. Like, it was almost like just jump and see what happens, and hopefully it works. And in my luck, it did work, but I think that to actually get on the other side, you need to hormonally recover. And you need to get your training back to where what once was. Until that point, you're going to feel like you just resent bodybuilding a bit, and you're just kind of ticking the boxes.
So, like, to be fair, I feel like my training just now is getting back to what it once was, which is quite crazy considering I'm like
Just
what
now,
8 months, like literally just now. Because like I said, the
yeah,
past 6 months, I didn't really take as serious as I should have. I was eating here, there, everywhere, eating still to the meal plan and training, doing every session I was told to do, but
yeah.
the focus for it just wasn't really there, and it's I'm not embarrassed about it, like in the slightest. But going
No,
back, I would definitely change every like the way I went around all of it per sure.
yeah. You could change it, that bro, but like you just learn from it, mate. Every mistake you make, especially you're so young, like you just learn from it. You get mature from it. You don't make that mistake again. In the grand scheme of things, is it a mistake? I don't know. I don't like to view things as a mistake often. Like if
It's a
it's a
learning
really
curve.
bad thing, yeah, fucking hell, it's a mistake. But
It's a learning
a lot
curve
of
is
the
what
time,
it
it's
is.
just you need to learn. Yeah, you just need to learn some things. And like, I just think as bodybuilders in general, we hold ourselves to this ridiculously high standard that you would never, ever, ever see in any other amateur sport. A lot of the time, any even the pro standards of that sport, you'd never see the level of self criticism, the self like doubt, the
Hatred.
self kind of loathing. You'd never ever see this. The amount of pressure we put on ourselves to be perfect. Yet in our sport, especially the UK, it's just so normalized. that,
Yeah,
if
unhealthy.
you
It's
place a
really
foot
unhealthy.
wrong, if God forbid you got for a meal your missus immediately post show, you're fucked your off season. That's the off season done. Like, it's
Pretty much.
not.
Yeah,
It never will be. And it
yeah,
just is so stupid because you've got these people so scared to do anything, but they're stuck in this limbo where they're not actually improving their training. They're not putting on a necessary amount of body fat to get back to a functional hormonal spot. And in their greatest attempts to go forwards, they're going nowhere. Like, they don't understand that you need to. Bodybuilding is an extreme sport. You're most productive in the extremes, whether that's extremely lean for prep or pretty fucking soft in the off season. That's where the gains are. In this weird fucking limbo period where you're 5 pounds up from show and your rate of gain is perfect, you've done fuck all. And if you're going to keep doing that, well fucking done. You'll be the same on stage next year if you compete again, and you'll be the same on stage the year after that. We're so scared as a country to actually push the boat out and be a bit more assertive with our kind of off seasons that you've got people so scared of not making progress, but they don't make any progress. It's just, I don't get it. Is there a time and a place to not be a twat with food? Of course. Don't fucking go have 20 Dominoes in 2 weeks. Obviously. But you need to understand that body weight's going to get put on eventually, whether you fucking like it or not. If it's
yeah,
over 2 years or 6 months, it's going to come on. Time is the most valuable asset you have as a bodybuilder, so make fucking use of it, mate, because, yes, you don't want to get too soft to the point where your off season's 3 months, but you also don't want to be in an off season for 2 years and put on 10 pounds. Like, it's finding a nice healthy medium for you and what works best for you.
yeah. I think you're bang on the money there. Honestly, I couldn't have said it anywhere close to as well as you've said it. Like that should be written to a book of book of lifting.
Yeah, mate, I'll get that
But I
published soon
think
with my man
yeah, you should.
with
You
my
should.
mantra.
Consider publishing something like that because that'll be absolutely amazing. But I think for the first episode of Swole Goal, I think this would be a very solid place to
Yeah,
finish it off. Episode
yeah,
two,
wrap it up.
I think we'll most likely, if this gets enough traction, we'll put question boxes up on the story.
Yeah,
Get some questions in for the latter end of the recordings, and we'll just go through them on that. Episode two most likely be
and
about mistakes people make in prep in off seasons. Kind
yeah.
of what we did at the back end of this episode, but we'll just continue it onto that. And it's been lovely talking to you, mate.
Before we finish, if anyone asks any fucking boring question, if anyone asks me how many sets to do for chest, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Cool.
So someone will ask that because I think they're being funny. It's inevitable. Someone will ask that just to piss me off now. But genuinely, if you actually want to ask a question, make it something I can answer because, God forbid, anyone asks me what my favorite color is or how many sets to do to grow your back. I wouldn't know because I'm still trying to figure that number out. But yeah, just ask Ryan, mate. He smashed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the first episode of Swole the Gold, I guess, and we look forward to recording the next one. And any feedback, please be kind. We're not the best talkers, but
that first time, my first proper time, kind of talking to a camera, that's going to get fully published. So, but yeah,
you've done well, bro.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you in a bit.
In a bit, bro.